Heidi, are you serious?
Cassia? You've got some nerve to be messaging me. What do you want?
Quit your whining, sis. This is important. I heard you're getting married to the nephew of the CEO of a major company. I heard he was chosen to take over when his uncle retires. Is this true?
Oh, so that's why you're messaging me. Well, it was bound to get out eventually, so I may as well just tell you. Yep, it's true.
How?
What do you mean, how? I'm an employee at his company. I work directly under his uncle, the CEO, so I guess that's how?
What?
His uncle introduced us when I moved up to my current department, and I guess we just started to like each other. How do you think these things work?
Anyway, when did you even start working for that company? They're world famous. How did you do it? You're a damn high school graduate and you're doing better than me? It's not fair. I was always the clever sister.
Wow, that's an interesting way of looking at the world. I see you haven't changed at all. I graduated university, you know.
Huh? You did?
Mom kicked me out as soon as I graduated high school, so I had no choice but to work, which I did, a lot, and eventually I was able to save up the money for my tuition fees. I ended up enrolling 2 years later than everyone else, but eventually I graduated with flying colors. I started looking for work with my new degree and got a job with the company I'm at now.
What? Not fair!
Okay, let me ask you, Cassia. Have you been working at all since you graduated university?
Excuse me, I don't have to work. I'm special. Someone like me shouldn't have to sacrifice their best years as some office monkey worker drone. I'm drop-dead gorgeous, so it's only a matter of time before I find myself a nice, rich, handsome man with enough money to provide me with the life I deserve. Unlike you, I don't have to resort to cheap tricks and desperate schemes to bag myself a man, because the man of my dreams is going to come calling any day now. Just you wait and see.
I have no idea what you mean by cheap tricks or desperate schemes, but the only reason I'm in my current position is because I worked, studied, and strove for a better life, and I did it all on my own with no one to rely on but myself.
Huh?
I don't need to be talked down to by some lousy deadbeat scrounger, who, despite being fortunate enough to have had all her tuition fees paid for, still somehow manages not to have found a job despite having graduated years ago.
How dare you speak to me like that? You're pathetic good-for-nothing, and me, Mom, or Dad never loved you.
It just goes to show that even a pathetic good-for-nothing can realize their dreams if they work hard enough and never give up. I'm living proof of that.
Ugh, you make me sick.
Bye, Cassia.
Heidi, I need to talk to you. Reply to me at once.
Let me guess. Mom? It's been a while. Hey, what's been going on these last few days? Cassia won't stop messaging me all of a sudden despite the fact we haven't spoken in years, and now you?
That's what I want to discuss with you. I hear you've been bragging to your lovely little sister about your new life, which you obviously achieved entirely by chance, and won't listen to a word she has to say. You always were the runt of the litter.
I achieved this by chance, did I? Think what you like, Mom, I don't care. Anyway, since it's her, I know that whatever she says would only disgust me, so why bother listening? There's another thing I've been wondering too. Didn't you both have me blocked before?
We had no choice but to unblock you due to some new developments which unfortunately meant we had to get back in touch with you. You would know this if you hadn't interrupted Kazuya halfway through her explanation, and I wouldn't be having to explain to you now.
So that's why you messaged me instead.
That's right.
Okay, ready when you are. Make sure to keep it short.
When's the wedding?
Huh? I hate to break this to you, Mom, but you're not invited. In fact, none of you are.
Excuse me?
I already explained everything to my fiancé and his parents. They've been very understanding about the whole thing.
How amusing. Don't tell me you actually think you're going to be the bride.
What? I'm at my own wedding? Yes, actually, I did plan on being the bride at my own wedding. Is that not obvious?
It most certainly is not. There's only one young lady in this family suitable to marry a future CEO. And that's your lovely, adorable little sister, Kazuya.
I'm sorry, but I don't think I understand. What?
The groom's name was Michael, wasn't it? Or Mike? He may think he's marrying you right now, but he's sure to fall in love with Kazuya the moment he sees her. He'll change his mind, there's no doubt about it. It's already decided. You're to be substituted for your sister, and she'll marry him instead.
What are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? There's no way that's gonna happen.
Oh, yes it is. You'll see before long, your arrogance will be your downfall, young lady. There's nothing my Kazuya can't do when she puts her mind to it.
Let's just rewind a little here. Do you even know Mike? Have you met him?
No.
Oh, that makes this weird fantasy of yours even more hilarious.
The only one fantasizing here is you. Do you actually think you, an unlovable, worthless, good-for-nothing, are actually worthy of marrying a future CEO? You need to get your head checked out if so. I suggest you cease and desist with these foolish fantasies at once, and accept your place in the world as the bottom dweller you really are. How about you find yourself a nice, homeless man to marry instead?
You're so sweet and charming, Mom. You have no idea how lucky I feel to have such loving parents.
Don't you dare get sarcastic with me, young lady. Anyway, all you need to know is that your sister will be substituted as the bride in your place on your wedding day. Make sure you let Mike know what's going on beforehand.
You're insane.
And you're an idiot if you think there is anything you can do to stop this. I'll tell you what, I'll prepare a message to pass on, since you're probably too dumb to do it yourself. Mike, I think my little sister Kazuya would make a far more suitable bride than me. I have thus decided to get out of your way and leave the two of you in peace forever. Please make Kazuya happy. How's that? You have no excuse not to tell him now I've prepared you a message. Aren't I kind?
That's not the reason I won't be telling him.
Shut up! Did I ask for your input? No, I didn't. Your attitude is despicable, young lady. Mark my words. If you do anything to jeopardize Kazuya and Mike's happiness, you will regret it.
I really wish you'd give it a rest.
I really do wish you'd stop giving opinions I never asked for. If you actually knew your place, this wouldn't be a problem. But you seem to be suffering from delusions of grandeur of epic proportions. You? With a CEO? Get real!
Whatever. You can say what you like, but I'm not telling you when the wedding is.
Do you think I can't find out for myself? You may be the runt of the litter. You may be the shame of our family. But this is finally your opportunity to do some good in the world. I suggest you take it and try to make up for being such a waste of space by making your adorable little sister happy.
Heidi, pick up. What the heck's going on?
Huh? Kazuya? Explain what? I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the one behind this. I just know it. To think you deceive your own family. Well, I hope you're happy. We fell for your little trap.
A trap? Allow me to repeat myself. I have no idea what you're talking about. Tell me what you're talking about and maybe I'll be able to shed some light on things.
Me and Mike were supposed to be getting married today.
Apart from the bit where you said you were supposed to be marrying my husband, you are correct. The wedding is today. Can't believe you actually went out of your way to find out the details, though. You really will stop at nothing, will you?
Obviously, digging around the net and local newspapers for details on the venue and schedule is a small price to pay if it means reeling in a big fish like Mike. Or it should have been. I put on my amazing new wedding dress. Then the three of us, me, Mom, and Dad, entered the chapel the wedding was supposed to be being held at, and just as I was getting ready to walk down the aisle, someone started shouting at us. The bride and groom were two completely different people.
What? Wait, what? What the hell did you do?
That's my line. Explain yourself, now. And give me Mike back while you're at it. Where are you hiding him?
Just hold on a sec before we discuss that. Where the hell did you go? Did you say you went to a chapel?
Yes, the chapel inside Apple Hotel.
A hotel? Me and Mike got married at a place called Apple Church.
You got married in an actual church?
It's a church overseas. It's in Spain, actually.
Spain? What? You mean you're not even in America anymore?
Mike received almost his entire education overseas across various countries in Europe, from middle school to university, so he has tons of friends outside of America. That's why we decided to get married abroad.
Oh my god.
As far as I know, Apple Hotels and Apple Churches are both subsidiaries of the same parent company. Oh, I get it. You got mixed up with the word apple and ended up crashing some stranger's wedding. Oh my god.
This is not a laughing matter. The bride said one of her relatives is a lawyer, and she wouldn't stop yelling about how I owed her money for ruining her wedding. Not only that, but she says I owe her money for ruining her dress. And money for breaking some stuff inside the chapel. They say I'll be receiving a claim for everything, and if I don't pay up, I'll have to go to court. I never meant for things to turn out this way.
Wow, you did all that?
Please, sis, just help me out this one time.
Me?
I took out a loan to pay for this wedding dress. I have zero money left thanks to you.
I'm speechless.
Mom and Dad are broke too. Please, I'm at my wit's end here. You and Mike are the only ones I can rely on.
Just out of interest, how much was the wedding dress you took out a loan for?
$25,000.
Wow!
I had no choice. I wanted to show Mike that I was worthy of being his wife. He comes from money after all. What did you expect me to do? Show up in a bin bag?
Okay, so why don't you just sell the dress? Granted, you'll have to drop the price a little since it's secondhand, but surely if it's that nice, you'll be able to claw back some of your losses.
It's too late.
Why?
It got damaged beyond repair in the chaos. To be precise, it got ripped to shreds while I was fighting with one of the security guards who had me pinned down on the floor.
Oh my, Cassia. Just what the hell went down in that chapel?
Please, I'm begging you.
Nope.
What?
I'd just like to remind you, my own sister conspired with our parents to try and steal my husband on my wedding day. You disgust me, and I'm embarrassed by the fact that you exist.
Gah!
Anyway, my wedding's about to start. Have a nice life, and good luck with that debt of yours. See ya! I blocked my sister and parents after the wedding. I heard a few days later from a relative who I'm still on good terms with that the three of them received an enormous compensation claim from the bride and groom whose wedding they ruined by going to the wrong chapel. I don't know the exact breakdown of the charges, but I heard that there were some pretty expensive items among the things they broke, including some very old antique furniture of high historical value. The total came to a whopping $65,000. Good luck, that's all I can say. They were told they had to pay it in one lump sum immediately, news that made my mother faint with shock and my sister burst into tears. I heard that my dad quit his job and suddenly escaped in the night. He hasn't been seen since. I mean, wow, really? Those three are just as bad as each other. Anyway, this has of course left my mom and sister with no choice but to work long, grueling hours across several jobs. However, due to neither of them having held down a semi-decent job at any point in their lives, those several jobs mostly consist of adult entertainment venues like strip clubs. What do I think of the ignoble fate of my former family? Well, I won't deny it. Considering they basically joined forces to try and ruin my life, it's a little satisfying. I think they're getting exactly what they deserve.
Hey, Deb, you have some real nerve. Do you know that? I mean, really, just what kind of game are you trying to play here? I want to know why you're hanging out with my fiancé so much. Just What are you getting at?
Wait, what? What is all this about? Who even are you and how did you get my number? Wait a second, I recognize the name now. Isn't this Lindsay? We used to work together, right? I remember now, I used to be your supervisor.
That's right. I'm glad you deem me worthy enough to remember. But what I want to know is just what do you think you're doing hanging around with my boyfriend all the time?
Your boyfriend? I don't even know who that is.
Oh, don't you play dumb with me. You're not fooling anyone at all, you know. Just come out and admit it. You've been stalking my boyfriend for a long time now, and I know it.
You think that I'm stalking someone? I literally don't even know the person who I would be stalking. This is just ridiculous.
What's ridiculous is the fact that you're almost 50 years old now, right? So what I want to know is why an old hag like you is hanging around with a young man in his 20s. Don't you see how wrong that is for you to do that?
Look, Lindsay, I can promise you that I'm not stalking anyone at all, okay?
You're lying to me and I know it. I've seen you do it myself so many times. I know that you're stalking my boyfriend and it is seriously starting to piss me off, so just quit it.
I still literally don't even know who you're talking about right now. I talk to and hang out with a lot of different people, so it's possible that your boyfriend is one of those people, but you still haven't even told me who that is.
Tall guy, always wears a suit, broad shoulders. Does that ring enough bells for you?
I work in an office where everyone wears suits, so no, if that's all you have to describe this person, then I still have no clue. Why don't you just tell me this person's name so we can stop playing this text version of Guess Who?
You really think that I'm going to use my boyfriend's name in a conversation with his stalker? I wouldn't dream of it.
Well, that's your choice, I suppose. But I just really think that this is the least effective way to go about doing this.
I don't remember asking your opinion on that. Just make sure that you keep away from my boyfriend. Do you understand me?
I literally don't understand you because first of all, I'm not stalking anyone, and second of all, I'm married. I literally have a husband and a son.
I don't believe this. You're even worse than I thought. You mean to tell me that you have a loving family at home and you choose to go after my poor boyfriend? Although, I bet if I had to guess, my boyfriend would probably have to be around the same age as your son. Which makes all of this even worse. You're disgusting trying to go after someone your son's age. You're an old, washed-up cow and you need to learn to stick to your own age bracket. Got it?
I don't know how many times I'm going to have to tell you that there is no stalking going on before you believe me.
Shut up! I am sick and tired of having this conversation. Just make sure that you never, ever go near my boyfriend. Ever again.
Oh, David, I'm home.
Welcome back, Mom. I really missed you. I can't believe your work sent you on an overseas business trip for 6 whole months.
Thank you, son. It really is nice to be back. I can't believe that I was gone for so long either. You know, I was actually supposed to arrive yesterday, but the weather was just awful. And then there were technical problems with my plane, and it was just a disaster.
Well, I'm just glad that you're back today. After all, I'm getting married tomorrow, and I was worried that you weren't gonna make it when you told me you were pushing your arrival back.
I really am sorry for worrying you. I was pretty worried about missing it myself. More than that, though, I feel so bad that I haven't been able to meet your fiancé once. I know that you both started dating a while before I left, but we were always so busy, and then I left for my trip.
Well, don't worry. You two will have plenty of time to get to know each other from here on out, and you'll finally get to meet her at the wedding. I've told her all about you, so I think you should just rest up and get ready for tomorrow.
That's very sweet of you, David. And yes, I really should go get some rest and prepare for tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow for the big day.
Have a nice night, Mom.
You too, sweetie. I'm so proud of you.
Okay, now you've really gone too far, Deb. Just what the heck do you think you're doing at my wedding right now, huh? I thought I told you to stay away from my boyfriend, so why are you here on my big day?
Please don't tell me that the boyfriend you were telling me to stay away from back then is the same man that you're marrying now.
Of course it is. David's my fiancé, and by the end of the day, he'll be my husband. But before that can happen, I needed to make sure that you left so you didn't ruin the whole thing. I know that you were up to something.
And is that really your excuse for what you did to me? The moment you saw my face, you grabbed me by the collar and dragged me out of the venue and threw me on the lawn. Then, when I tried to get back in, you told the staff to make sure that I didn't step a foot inside. Just what are you trying to pull with that, huh?
What do you mean, what am I planning? My plan is to keep an old cradle robber like you out of my wedding so that I can marry my fiancé in peace.
Be that as it may, I'm only here to watch my son get married.
Well, you must have gotten the wrong place, because the only wedding happening here today is ours.
That's exactly what I mean. This is the wedding that I'm trying to attend. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I have no idea what you're saying. Maybe you're already getting Alzheimer's, you old hag.
Let me spell this out for you then. David is my son. I am David's mother. Get it now?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Okay, let's make this even simpler. My last name is Fairbanks, right? David's last name is Fairbanks. Are you starting to put it together now? I don't know if you just never picked up on that, or just didn't bother to even ask to see a picture of your own fiancé's mother. And I'm also sorry that as his mother, I didn't make more of an effort to meet you.
You're not making any sense at all right now, Deb. I mean, just how can David be your son? I guess the ages would make sense for you to be his mom, but just because you have the same last name doesn't mean you two are related. Besides, I remember that in the office you used to go by Baker.
Right. Well, that was my maiden name.
Your maiden name? Are you kidding me?
I guess I'll explain all this to you too. When I first started working for the company where you later joined, I was unmarried, and all the paperwork there had me under my maiden name. Apparently, it would have been a lot of paperwork and a big hassle to edit everything in the system, so I just told my boss to not worry about it and keep using my maiden name for simplicity's sake. I think that if you ask around where you work for other women who started single and got married on the job, you'll see that this isn't uncommon.
No, that can't be right. You're just making up excuses and trying to confuse me, aren't you? You really think that I'm going to be fooled by some perverted grandma like you so easily?
Sounds to me like you just don't want to admit that I'm really David's mother.
Of course I don't want to admit that, because it's simply not true. David told me that his mom manages her own company that deals with overseas trade. Basically, she's the total opposite of the sad, pathetic stalker that you are. She's actually done something with her life and owns her own company. She even went on a business trip for 6 months in another country. I doubt you've ever done anything like that in your life. And today is going to be the first day that I meet her.
Well, you were mostly correct about everything that you just said.
You mean like the part about you being a pathetic stalker? I'm well aware.
Anyways, why don't you go ahead and tell David that his mother has gone home?
Wait, what do you mean?
Just tell him that you and I had a chance to meet and that I went home afterwards.
I can't believe you're still trying to peddle this lie to me.
Hey, Mom, where are you? I've been waiting around since early this morning to see you. I really want you to come and meet Lindsay before everything starts.
Oh, we actually just met, dear. Didn't you hear from Lindsay?
What do you mean, so you're here already?
Well, about 20 minutes ago, I introduced myself, and she started screaming about how I was stalking you. Then she threw me out of the venue and prevented me from going back in. Just mention her old boss, Miss Baker. I'm sure she'll get the message.
Lindsay said that you were stalking me. I don't get it.
She did, and now I'm on my way to the emergency room.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, when she threw me out of your wedding, I tripped down some stairs and fell on my knee. It's starting to swell up a bit, so I think I need to get it checked out.
But I don't get it. Besides, didn't you come with Dad? Where is he?
Your dad was busy parking the car, and then apparently he forgot something and had to go back to the parking lot. It was all while he was away that this happened. But he's with me now and taking me to the hospital. Anyways, if you wouldn't mind telling Lindsay that I'm actually your mother, I think it would save us all a lot of time.
Right, got it.
This can't be happening. I don't believe it. You really were his mother this whole time. Why didn't you tell me before I did what I did?
But I did tell you. I explained to you in great detail, actually.
But you should have done more to make me understand.
Well, I wanted to tell you in person, but before I could get a word out, you threw me down the steps. After that, I had no choice but to type it all out for you. Except you decided to ignore all of that and continue to treat me like a stalker.
But that's only because I really did think you were lying. I mean, I thought that you were just some jealous old lady who quit because she knew she couldn't compete with me. But I had no idea that you left to start your own business and travel all over the world.
Well, you basically took the words from my mouth. I only left that old job to start my own business. Me quitting didn't have anything to do with you, though.
It didn't at all?
Although I do remember you quite clearly from those days, and it doesn't seem like you've changed one bit.
Well, please come back to the wedding. It's okay now that I know you're really David's mom. I believe you now.
I'm afraid I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I'm at the hospital right now because of what you did to my knee.
So, you won't come back? David, please, you have to reconsider. I really am so sorry. I didn't do it to be mean. I just made a little mistake.
I just want to ask one thing, Lindsay. When you saw me walk up to you with my mom, did you really think that I was just having a casual chat with a woman who was stalking me? It's not like I haven't shown you any picture of my mom. Did you really just not realize that her and my so-called stalker were the same person?
I just don't remember, that's all.
You've got to be kidding me.
I really didn't know they were the same person.
Even if you didn't, you acted before you even bothered checking who my mom really was. You didn't even try to use your words or act like a responsible adult. And that's why I knew that I just couldn't marry you.
Please, we can still make this work.
Maybe you can, but I can't. I never want to hear from you again.
When I got to the hospital on the day of what was supposed to be my son's wedding, I was grateful that my doctor said my knee wasn't seriously injured. Apparently, Lindsay somehow heard that the injuries were quite light and tried to use that to get David to take her back. She told him that I was going to make a full recovery and that in the end there was no permanent damage, so there was no point in canceling the marriage. In response, David told her that he was going to send her my hospital bills as well as the cancellation fees for all their wedding plans. When she heard just how much that was going to be in total, she knew she couldn't pay it and begged even harder to put this all behind them. Of course, my son just ignored her, but Lindsay didn't give up and continued to follow David around, begging him to take her back. Finally, David felt like he had no choice but to go to the court and ask for a restraining order from his crazy stalker.